I think every culture and tradition develops over a period of time, and in a specific setting and in specific community, and carries a significance for that community. And people practicing those traditions feel proud about those practices. But with the passage of time, culture and traditions evolve, they change. Uh, of course, some practices are not according to the universal norms, or not in line with human rights. So people stop practicing those as they get educated and enlightened. But many practices and traditions are lost or change due to interaction with other cultures, which are more dominant and which are majority cultures. Usually, it happens when people migrate from rural areas to urban areas, and they stop observing their traditions. Um, Also, the way traditions and practices used to be transferred in the past from one generation to another, today that transmission is weakened um, due to, like I mentioned, urbanization, and also the globalization, which is driven by the digital technology and social media. Um, and all these platforms provides us easy access to and interaction with other cultures of the world. So the younger generation mostly have smartphones, and they are more influenced by modern ways and adopt new practices. So I think these are the reasons why these traditions are disappearing and people uh, forgetting it. Actually, young generation need to understand the value uh, associated with their cultures and their traditions, uh, which is not being conveyed to them. And it also depends upon how we promote or market our own culture, uh, how we present or transmit the values of our traditions and culture to the younger generation, because the value associated with those traditions and practices are not properly transmitted today as used to be in the past. Our younger generation today spends more time on screen, consuming wide range of cultures and contents. They get little opportunity to spend time with their parents or grandparents. Um, and basically, our uh, grandparents are the real tradition bearers, and they know a lot of stories. So they should spend time with them, so that those traditions are directly transmitted to them. So also the technology and social media has created a lot of competition, and the way they market the modern ways of life, and uh, since the younger generation is more comfortable with this technology, and more influenced and inspired to adopt the modern ways, so which was not the case in the past. So I think these are the reasons that's why they today uh, prefer modern ways. I think it's a lot. Uh, since culture contributes to various aspects uh, of our life, uh, it contributes to our identity. It reminds us our history and roots. Uh, we are known to the outside world through our culture, our language, architecture, our dress, foodways, poetry, folklore. So losing all this means we lose our identity. It means we don't know where we belong. Um, then culture bonds us together. I mean, it strengthens our social fabric. Um uh, for example, our music, dances, our rituals, meeting places like Hujra, Chopal, they all bring us together. Our folklores and folk songs have messages of love, peace, and unity. Uh, and that all strengthens our social bonding and brings social cohesion and peace in the society. So losing all these means losing respect for each other, losing tolerance uh, in the society. Uh, then a very important aspect is that there is a lot of valuable knowledge associated with our heritage, which is called the indigenous knowledge and local wisdom, which our ancestors learned from the nature while interacting with nature. It includes, the medicinal knowledge, the water management practices, the food ways, the agricultural practices, uh, weather prediction practices, knowledge about environment and biodiversity conservation. All this is very important knowledge which needs to be revived and safeguarded for environmental sustainability. So of course, this is a very valuable knowledge, and that would be a big loss if it is not safeguarded, or we lose it. Uh, then coming to the economic aspect, since uh, when we lose our traditions, our culture, it threatens our diversity. I mean, we are very diverse. Uh, we have very diverse culture, so it affects tourism because tourists travel to see diversity. Why foreigners come here? I mean, they want to enjoy diverse culture, diverse traditions, different foods, historic landscape. Then a big proportion of labor force of Pakistan associated with art and culture and craft. So the livelihood of, I mean, their livelihood is also threatened if we lose all these traditions. So, so I think losing our culture and tradition will have a lot of impact on our society. I think a lot needs to be done. Uh, there's a high need to raise awareness among, specifically among youth, among our young people, on the importance of culture and traditions, and specifically these links which I just mentioned with socio-economic and environmental aspects of our lives. And I think schools can play an important role to transmit culture and its value to the younger generation. Teachers can engage students in cultural activities, for example, organizing cultural festivals at school or celebrating Mother Tongue Day. Teachers can give them assignments on documenting cultural practices, traditions in their locality. Uh, then one mistake we do, that we don't speak our native languages. We don't speak. I mean, we are shy to speak our mother tongue, and that is also a big loss because a lot of knowledge and values are associated with your language. Uh, then we need to spend time with our elders, with our uh, grandparents, listen to the old stories, and also we should read our local authors, local writers. Uh, then I think we should also promote our tradition bearers and knowledge holders, uh, uh, and revive our cultural spaces. Uh, there is a need to buy our local goods, the cultural goods, and that, because when you buy your local art and craft, your local items, that encourages our cultural practitioners, our craft people, artisans, calligraphers, painters, potters. Uh, so then it encourages them, and they continue their profession, and they transmit it to make efforts to transmit to the younger generation. So I think these are the ways we can do to revive our culture.